What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Star Wars spoiler discussion where we talk about all the spoilers in the newest Star Wars film, and this one being Star Wars The Holiday Special.
8.
We're just kidding. It's not the Holiday Special. It's Star Wars The Last Jedi. It's the one that came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, finally. We've been sick, so we weren't able to get that review out as quickly as we wanted to, but we're here. We're feeling better. We're over this damn flu.
Yep. I contracted a stomach virus.
Whatever. You're shitting all over yourself. I know. But hey.
It was great.
And we had to keep working through the holidays. It was fun.
Yeah, okay. It wasn't the best. But, we have Star Wars.
We got our first Christmas gift, of course, which was pretty awesome.
All right, so let's talk about the controversy before going into the spoiler discussions. A lot of people are saying this is a very polarizing Star Wars film. A lot of people they love the film. A lot of people hated the film. Some people say it ruined their lives. Some people say this was the game changer for Star Wars in a very positive way. Now, what did you think of the film overall?
Okay, first and foremost, coming out of the movie, opening night, we saw it was fantastic. Great audience. I enjoyed the movie. I liked it. It was a really good movie. It wasn't great, but it was really good. I came out very pleased. Of course, there was a couple of the storylines that we discussed walking out. Even to this point, I'm still kind of like, I kind of wish they had done it a little bit differently. But as we discussed, we see maybe a different storyline starting off in a different direction. So, but we'll discuss that in a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, my initial thoughts of the movie was, at first, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I thought it wasn't that good. In fact, I kind of thought it was terrible.
And I said, you need to see it again.
Yeah, and then he's like, you need to see it again. Yeah. People online, they're like, you need to give it a second chance, Ryan. Yeah. And I saw it again today, and I thought it was a lot better the second time around. Boom. I'm very glad that I saw it a second time. And actually, to the point where I'm like, I can't wait to see it a third time.
Exactly.
Because I can't wait to return to the Star Wars universe.
Right, because going in the second time, you're not going in with the opening night where all the hype and all the excitement. Second time around, you go in there, you're more relaxed. You're more just like, okay, I'm going to take in the movie. I'm going to enjoy what I see, and then I'm going to kind of see if I can pick through the storyline and see what I can see. Yeah,
I think that's what it was. It was the hype culture behind it that was destroyed it for a lot of people, and those people who were like, "Oh, we hate the movie." Those are the people that haven't really seen it a second time. Yeah. Well, that doesn't always happen, but most of the time, that's what happened.
Again, people have their own opinions, and more power to them, but that's not. Yeah.
So we got our initial thoughts out of the way, and so we are going to talk about the movie in full spoilers, as the title suggests. So if you haven't seen Star Wars The Last Jedi, don't watch this video.
Or watch it and then go see it.
That's not how it works. But we are going to talk about the movie in full spoilers, so you have been warned, and if you haven't seen Last Jedi, go see it, because it's a pretty solid movie.
Solid.
And one of the first things that really caught my attention once the movie started is, first they had this huge space battle. It was
right off the bat.
Yeah, right off the bat as a ship in space. And they showed the First Order going after the Resistance, because after they blew up Starkiller Base, there's like, we need to take them down. Right. And then so it shows the Resistance getting off of their first base, and then they were basically trying to evacuate as quickly as possible.
Correct.
So here comes First Order. They bring in their biggest ship
guns, the dreadnoughts.
That dreadnought.
Very cool.
And
very cool.
They had this whole sequence of Poe Dameron taking out the dreadnought,
the bomber fleet that got destroyed. Yep. And of course that plays into the storyline later in the movie.
Yep.
But very great, just as far as space battle scene, as far as Star Wars battle scenes, that was just absolutely just awesome. Top notch. Top notch by far.
It was a cool way to start the movie.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yep.
And then after that space battle, which was very entertaining, and then like you said, it plays into the story later. Mm-hmm. This was the one that actually hooked me the most, even on my first viewing. Right when Rey arrives on the island, and she gives the lightsaber to Luke Skywalker, it was this huge cliffhanger that The Force Awakens sets up.
At the end of the movie.
Yep. And then now, 2 years later, we finally get to see how it all unfolds.
So of course, 2 years later, Luke finally takes the lightsaber from Rey. And go ahead.
And he chucks it over his shoulder.
He just looks at it like, yeah, whatever, and just tosses it. And everybody's
walks away.
And everybody's just like, what? What just happened?
What did you think when you saw
that? First of all, I thought, okay, we already knew that Luke Skywalker was already disgruntled, basically, with his life. He's just, since the day he was born, his life's been living hell, even with the Force and the Jedi, and he's just done. He's just tired, as he says in the movie. I just came to this place to die. That's it. I just want to die.
Which was a very interesting take on where they took Luke. Actually, very interesting.
And we discussed Luke in depth, and I love the way they presented Luke Skywalker. Just the way they portrayed him as, again, disgruntled. Just like, my God, everything that I'm supposed to be fighting for has basically just blew up in my face. It's just, there's nothing good coming from this. And he tells that to Rey. What you think is going to happen is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's exactly what his life has been. And that scene where he tosses the lightsaber, he was just like, I'm done with this. Yeah, and just tosses it. And Rachel's like,
He doesn't even say a word. He just tosses it. And you're just I'm done.
Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
That was a funny scene. You're just like, what just happened?
Yeah, and it's so great because it instantly hooks you. And it's like, where's Luke's mindset the entire time? Like, where is he at right now? That doesn't feel like it's Luke Skywalker.
Correct.
Correct. And even the movie addresses that. Like, this isn't, like, not the Luke Skywalker that, that's according to legend, as they say.
We, as myself, the original Star Wars fans, grew up with.
Yep.
The hero, the guy who's been fighting for good the whole time for the rebellion. Boom, boom. Yeah, this is opposite direction. It's just very odd.
Yeah, it was very odd, but a very interesting way on how the movie approaches this hero figure.
Correct.
Basically, Rey wants to get trained by Luke this entire time, but he's just not budging. He's just like, you know what? No, just go away.
Go away.
I don't want anything to deal with anyone until the moment when Chewie actually breaks his door down.
Yeah.
And then even Luke is like, Chewie, what are you doing here?
What the hell are you doing?
Then Rey comes in. She's like, we'll just come with us. We'll get on the Falcon and we'll explain everything. And even Luke is just like, the Falcon, what the heck?
Yeah.
Where's Han? And that's kind of a part where I didn't like because Han and Luke they've always been good buddies,
friends. Yeah.
But that moment when he's like, where's Han? And then the movie just cuts from that. I kind of wish I would have gotten a more
in depth on how Luke felt inside, because he knows that Han was killed.
Yeah,
he knows that, and that scene where he walks into the Millennium Falcon and and he just looks around. He has the dice.
Yep.
That he takes from basically the rearview mirror, and and it just tells you like he knows, and again, part of his life. Friends and all that have been killed for this all-powerful force, for all this,
Yep.
And this is why he's there, because he wants to just get away. He's literally cut himself off from the force.
Yep.
He has disconnected himself from the force. He just wants to live his life and just die.
Yeah. That's what it was, and the movie reveals it later on. But the movie builds up to Rey trying to get to Luke Skywalker,
correct.
And a lot of it,
chasing him all over the island.
And it shows his like daily routine, which he doesn't appear to be busy. Even Rey addresses that, and he's just going across the island, drinking the
blue milk,
from those like the age old question from Star Wars fans, like where does the blue milk come from?
Now we know.
We now know,
or at least this blue milk comes from this six uddered walrus or whatever it was.
It comes from the blue milk cow. Yeah. They are real in the Star Wars universe.
They are real.
Very, very surprising. And and it shows Luke getting that big old fish that he got. He goes on that giant pole and goes across like a mile and a half.
And as he does that, which is really cool, by the way, if you look down below, you'll see his X-wing submerged in the water.
Yep.
Which is actually kind of like, oh, okay, the X-wing is still there from when he first came years ago. So it's kind of cool to spot that as he's swinging over the water. So
which was like a cool little nod or Easter egg and such like that. It's getting to the point of Rey trying to get to Luke, where during that whole time frame she's actually force connecting with Kylo Ren.
Yes.
which was a very interesting way on how these two characters are communicating, and that's really never been done in Star Wars before.
No, it really hasn't. I mean, you kind of seen a glimpse of that with Luke and Leia, but you always assume that the connection because they were twins.
Yeah, they just have that twin
connection.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's amplified by the Force that they both have within them.
Yep.
So, of course, when Luke's hanging from the Sky City and he kind of calls to Leia, and then she's like, we need to go back.
Yeah.
And with this connection, Supreme Chancellor,
Supreme Leader Snoke.
Supreme Leader Snoke, he's the one that states that he is the one that's connecting them two.
Yep.
Like, he is using the Force to connect the two.
Yep.
And I'm kind of like, again, we'll get further into the review later, but I was a little, I don't know.
You're a little uneasy on that?
Yeah, I
wasn't. On
wasn't.
the Force connection?
Yeah, I wasn't, no. As far as the Snoke aspect of it, I wasn't.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit, but we're talking about the Force connection between Rey and Kylo Ren,
Correct.
which was cool because it just shows that these two, even if one's on the light side and the dark side, these two have a connection.
They have a connection,
and it's a rarity to see how the hero and the villain they connect, which makes a more interesting story in my perspective. These two relate, just kind of like how Batman and the Joker relate, and then Superman and Lex Luthor relate in a sense. This is in a sense like on that level.
It's like, well, the combination between good and evil. It's really, as we talked about before, the gray. It's gray in this movie because Kylo is still. You can tell he's still struggling within himself because there was a scene at the beginning battle scene where he has a chance, basically an opportunity to fire on the main ship where Leia is at.
Yep.
And he chooses not to.
Yep.
And then two TIE fighters come in and destroy it. And then I'm going to cover this real quick. And then, of course, Leia's the bridge of Leia's ship is blown up, and they're all thrown into space.
Yep.
Including Leia. Fans, we all know that Carrie Fisher has died, and we would really love to have Princess Leia's character, or Carrie Fisher's character as Leia, to have her heroic death.
Which shocked the hell out of me because, like you said, like Carrie Fisher being gone and everything. Yeah. Once I first saw like Leia being blasted through into space,
I thought this was
I was like, oh my god, is this how they're really going to do it? I kind of liked it at first.
But again, I think the writers missed a opportunity to give Leia that heroic death, to give her that death that we were all, because we know it's coming. Let's be honest, we're not stupid.
Yeah.
But to give her that death, she deserves. The princess deserves this, and it didn't happen at the hands of her own son. Like Han was killed.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it. Passed over. But then she does the Force Angel thing, and she floats back to the...
Which is a part in the movie that a lot of people were kind of iffy on. And I'm still kind of iffy on right now.
I did not... I really... And we talked about this. Ryan was saying that, the Force is showing different aspects of its power.
Yeah.
And Leia used the Force in order to survive in outer space and getting blown off a bridge of a starship. And, and she still survived. But I literally saw that scene and I was like, okay, Mary Poppins.
It was a little cheesy.
It was cheesy.
For a Star Wars movie.
I was like...
Star Wars movies, they always have that cheese to them. Like that's what makes it fun.
You're right.
And this was a little too over the top.
This was... If she had perished in that scene... I think we would have been, we as the fan would have been pulled in like, no, this not just, she did not just die.
Like a hero that you've grown to love just dies just like that.
And you would have been like, no.
Yeah, but, but it is what it is.
Opportunity lost, and
And the whole time she was taking a nap. She
took a nap.
She was in a coma. So, but she later comes back.
And she'll wake up later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, So like the whole story, because there's like a couple storylines that they follow. Like first off, it was the Luke and Ray on the island storyline, which was really cool. I think that's my favorite storyline in the entire movie.
It was building up. I like the way they built it.
It was a great build up. And there's also the other storyline where the Resistance is trying to outrun the First Order because the First Order somehow was able to track them through light speed.
Right, which was again technology. Advancements, and the First Order has this stuff. I mean, it helped. I mean, they were showing some great ships, and their walkers were awesome. I mean, you can tell these guys were just advanced, like beyond just like this. And of course, their big cannons that they pull out later in the movie, like holy crap!
They clearly weren't messing around, especially like for one the Dreadnought, and later on when they showed the Supreme Leader Snoke's ship. They were a force to be reckoned with, and you really felt that in this movie. and they were playing it smart because the First Order knew that the Resistance was on the verge of running low on fuel.
Yes, and they were pushing it. Yep.
Yeah,
and then jump ahead. They're on the run. The First Order's after them.
Yep.
Bombarding them. Boom, 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 boom. Fire, and the shields are blocking all the blasts, and ships are running out of gas, and the whole bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the Lorna Dern character comes in.
Yeah, she comes in after Leia gets blown out. And she goes into a coma, and then she takes her spot.
She takes her spot. Now, again, I love Lorna Dern. Great actress.
Yeah, she's fantastic. I think she's great.
She is. She's fantastic. But her character didn't really need to be in this movie.
That's a yes and no.
It really
for
did.
me.
Leia could have played that part and sacrificed herself for the rebellion.
Yeah.
Instead of this Lorna Dern character going light speed into the ships, Leia could have did that.
Yeah.
Knowing that her time has come.
Yeah.
Heroic death, save the rebellion, so on and so on. But my opinion.
I feel as if the Laura Dern character was a sort of a plot device in order to build up on Poe Dameron's character.
Yeah,
because
sure.
Even in the beginning of the movie when he's just going in there and just blowing stuff up, she kind of teaches him, and even Leia was like, you can't just go in there guns blazing, blowing shit up, because that's just not how war works. Sometimes you just need to get the hell out of there, and go and build up on your reinforcements.
Yeah, but Leia tells him this.
Yeah,
it could have been a build up between the two.
Yeah.
Where maybe Poe was the one that would kind of take over the rebellion at a certain point, because he is a leader.
Yeah.
He's a leader. People follow him. So.
And the thing with the Laura Dern's character is once she comes in and she's just like, oh yeah, we are the spark that'll light the fire, that'll burn the First Order down. She was the first one to say that.
Yeah.
And then Poe Dameron, he recognized her because she was actually a hero of the Resistance or the rebellion at one point.
Past battles. Correct.
In past battles. So he was just like, oh, this is Admiral Holdo. It's not what I expected, but I'm going to approach her anyway. And he does. And he says, we need a plan. We're in really desperate need of legitimate plan for us to escape from the First Order. So what's your plan?
Right.
And what she says is like, oh yeah, Leia's initial response in dealing with you was demoting you because you did that whole battle with the Dreadnought, and I'm going to fulfill her
last wishes.
Exactly. And then she doesn't really tell Poe the plan of what the Resistance is.
Basically, tell him, get off my bridge.
Yep. And and Poe doesn't like that too much because it kind of leaves him in a dark place where it's just like, well, we're dying here.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, all that's happening, all the transport ships, the medical ships,
everything's getting destroyed.
Everybody in there just get on the transports and go on the main ship while those ships get destroyed.
Yeah, because they ran out of gas.
Yeah, they run out of everything.
Well, one thing I've learned,
which was pretty cool, actually.
One thing I picked up on the storyline was basically Poe. He was a pilot. He was a soldier.
Yeah.
So he was trying to survive. His survival instinct.
Yeah.
Take him out now. We don't have to take him out later. So basically, boom, 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 boom. But in the process, a lot of other soldiers, pilots were getting killed.
Yeah.
What they were showing him is like, you are a leader. They're going to follow you, but we need to preserve as much as we can because our numbers are dwindling.
Yeah.
That's what they were trying to show him. That's what they were trying to teach him. And eventually, as the movie progressed, he actually realizes what this is all about.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end where you have that last ship, the main ship's still cruising. They start evacuating that ship. And then of course the First Order starts destroying all the those little escape pod ships. They start destroying them all, and that's where you see the Laura Dern light speed it, and which I thought was a fantastic scene, by the way. It was awesome.
I love when all the audio just cuts out and it's just silent. And that opening night when people were just like, "Oh my god!" and it was just completely silent. And I thought it was great, especially
great scene. Jumping ahead, but one thing I wanted to talk about was, of course, Finn's back.
Yeah,
I like Finn. I like the character. I like the way he's developing himself.
Yep.
And then they brought in this new character, Rose.
Yeah.
Who happens to be in love with Finn or loves Finn or whatever, and kisses Finn, and we're kind of like, huh? Like, where'd this come from?
Yeah, it was a little weird.
They get sent on a mission to some casino planet and to find the Crimson Rose guy. And
now they needed to go to this casino planet because they needed. I know it sounds dumb, but they needed to find a code breaker. In order for the First Order to not be able to track them down when they're going into light speed.
Correct.
So they're like, okay, what do we need to do? And then they contact Maz Kanata.
And she tells them,
yeah, you need to go to this casino planet because I know a guy. He has this little rose thing on it.
Know this guy. Doesn't tell him his name, but I know this guy.
Yeah, I know this guy. He is a code breaker. He'll do everything he does everything, and he's located on this planet.
So they go to this casino planet, the big horses, and and it's like it's a casino planet, and you kind of like, okay.
The first time it really bugged me, but the second time it actually brushed over pretty quickly. But the one thing that
but I was like,
the one thing that bugged me the most was those space horses. It seems like the movie took a halt in order for them to have this really unnecessary chase sequence. Was it visually cool? I thought it was visually cool.
No. The special effects and the graphics were fantastic.
Yeah,
visually cool, but it was some of the storyline, like, did they really need to put that in? I mean, and I do understand that they had those, like the kids. They show the kids.
Yeah.
And of course, the kids come in later on the very end of the movie, and you see like one of these kids has the Force within him. Yeah. And you kind of go, whoa, very cool. But that scene, and then of course, it was just a way to introduce Benicio del Toro's character.
Yeah.
And he's kind of a dirty, rotten.
He says some pretty interesting things too.
Yes.
His name was DJ.
Is it DJ? Okay.
Yeah, it was DJ, and he was just like, I don't really have a certain side. They're like good and bad. They're all made up. Yeah,
it's war and
live free, and then you're able to basically do whatever you want.
And he kind of pinpoints what war's about.
Yeah. It's about making money.
It's about making money.
Yeah,
and that's what he talks about, and that's what he gets at. And then when they're all captured, and of course they're all taken to the main ship where Phasma's at. Hey, Phasma makes another appearance. Woo! And then, and you know what happens? God damn it!
It's kind of wasted.
It is wasted there too. But he turns coat and gets his money in bells. So you look at his character and like, okay, he was supposed to help him, but then he didn't help him, or maybe he is helping him, and it's what I mean.
Yeah.
So you're not really sure with his character. You're just I know
he's kind of like a Jack Sparrow character. Like he's really only out for himself.
He's out for himself, but he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
He just out, like you said, to make money and to do what he thinks is right.
Yeah.
Which isn't always a bad thing, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So of course, that's also the main ship that they're being held on is the same ship that's cut in half by the Lightspeed ship, cut it in half, and they all survive.
Yep. Actually, I think they got off at that point.
Did they? Yeah. No. It was after. No, because when it was gonna happen, that's when Finn starts fighting Phasma.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, because the ship's coming apart.
Yeah.
And mind you, this ship just cut. This main cruiser just cut your ship in half, and you're still alive, but you're still fighting the other baddie. And yeah.
So I think
she falls to her death. God damn it.
Yeah, they kind of wasted Phasma a little bit with a couple of like unnecessary jokes from Finn, where he's like, "Let's go, Chrome Dome," and then it's like, okay, this was Disney talking.
Riders, it's I'm telling you, some of these rides. I'm not saying it's all gonna be dark and gray and all that bullshit, but come on, guys, you guys can do better. You guys professionals, do some good rides.
Yeah, it was a little cringeworthy, especially with the whole Chrome Dome thing. But that fight with Phasma was a little bit underwhelming. 'cause, you know, but hey, you know, she is kind of like Boba Fett, where like if you look at Boba Fett, he doesn't really do much either.
Doesn't do much, but he is.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, but he's has a following that's beyond.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I think that Phasma will have a following later down the line too. Maybe she will. I mean,
I hope so. You know, I'm hoping she's such a badass that she survived this fall into the pit of hell, and then.
Well, they hinted at the because remember when Rose shot the blaster at her armor, it completely deflects.
It deflects off. Yeah.
Maybe it could withstand fire. I don't know.
Fire and
I don't know.
You know, zero gravity and all the above. Who the hell knows?
I don't.
I hope so, because I definitely would like to see her come back. I mean, I really would.
Yeah, like for episodes, so that way we can have a real conclusion to her character.
Okay.
And
yes, instead of her just like
falls through the fire and that's
here
it.
I come.
All
okay,
right.
so
we took care of all the side plot lines, whereas like Finn and Rose go to the casino planet, which we thought was kind of whatever. The whole Poe trying to get along with Holdo, which was kind of hey, you know what? I get it. I get it.
Thing.
Yeah, I get it because you know this is it's covering what each side is they're learning.
Okay, so let's get to one of the main plots from episode 7 that we talked about, and who was this and where did he come from? Is Supreme Chancellor Snoke.
Supreme Chancellor Snoke.
Okay, so it doesn't give you where he's from, what he does. You see that he is powerful with the Force.
Yeah.
Because he's throwing Rey around like a freaking rag doll.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, holy crap. And I didn't mind the fact that Kylo was the one that did in Snoke.
Yeah.
You know, because Kylo was power hungry, just like, you know, any other bad guy.
Yeah, of course.
Know? So, but the way they eliminated him, I was just like, huh? Like, that's it?
Yeah.
Like, what the? Just son of a bit, what the hell?
I have a couple thoughts on that whole death, but before we get into that, let's go into, like, the build-up. So, Rey's trained on the island with Luke, and it's not until he gets on the Falcon and then R2 shows him that message of the 1977 of Carrie Fisher.
Very cool scene.
Which was great because it was kind of like R2's way of saying, you know, this was the moment where you embarked on your adventure.
Very true.
But you're holding this girl back from embarking on her own adventure.
Correct.
And even he was just like, that's a cheap move.
That's a cheap shot.
That was cheap. But it was great because it was like the music was playing. The classic 1977 Star Wars music was playing.
Cool. I thought that was
and it was great. And so Luke tells to Rey, saying, you know what, I'm going to teach you 3 lessons starting tomorrow on why the Jedi needs to end. Right. So the first lesson, sends her up on this rock, and he's just like, close your eyes, reach out, and figure out what the Force is.
Right.
So while she does, she actually reaches out with her hand, and then Luke is just like, oh my god. So he decides to toy with her. He has this little leaf in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
Starts doing the whole, he's like, oh, you feel
it?
And she's like, I can feel it. Yeah, that's the Force. You're super strong with it. Slaps her.
Yeah.
I was like, that was great. That showed disgruntled Luke.
See, but that showed that, as far as the writing is concerned, that shows some fun within the storyline.
Yeah.
That Luke is trying, he's trying to pass on to Rey. Not this chrome dome and dumb lines like that.
Yeah.
This was funny. I mean, you like, oh, that was haha. You laughed, you chuckled.
That was Mark Hamill being funny.
Yes, it was.
It was great. And then so that whole lesson was like, for someone to say that the Force is only for the Jedi or the Sith or for instance, it's kind of not fair. Like the Force is meant for everybody. That's what Luke is trying to say.
Correct.
It's meant for the whole galaxy and not just binded to one particular religion.
Correct.
The second lesson that Luke shows to Rey is like the whole Jedi Order is filled with hypocrisy.
Yes.
And he was saying that legend behind them, they may seem like they come from greatness,
yes.
but in reality they come from failure. And that's what Luke was trying to show Rey, which was very interesting because again, Star Wars hasn't touched that before. They've always made Jedi seem like they're always the good guys.
Yeah.
But Luke is trying to say that, that's not always true because the Jedi also created Darth Vader.
Yeah.
But even Rey counters that, and then she's like, well, who was the Jedi that turned him back to the light side?
True.
And then even Luke is like, yep, I turned into a legend, and then I turned out that I failed too.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that he shows that failure is part of the Jedi Order, but when Yoda makes the appearance
Yeah.
later in the movie, which is a great scene, he tells Luke, failure is part of learning.
It's the greatest teacher.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
I thought it was fantastic how they did that. And even Rey, she was just like, no, Ben Solo failed you. I will not fail you.
Right.
And it's such a great acting performance for Mark Hamill, because I noticed this the second time. He was crying because he was just distraught by him feeling like he failed his nephew.
Yeah, correct. And of course, the scene where he explains to Rey what had happened, and of course the Force connection between him and Rey, and then Kylo explains to Rey how, I guess, Luke tried to kill him.
Yeah.
But Ken, different views, different aspects of what had occurred. So Luke gives his side of his point of view, and then of course Kylo gives his point of view, and then how this all caused the Jedi Temple to be destroyed.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and you're kind of like, whose fault was it? I mean, was it Luke's for failing him? Was it Kylo just for the fact that, hey, I'm done with my training, I'm the power here, and so on?
Yep.
Because it pretty much, and again, with the fall of the temple, episode 7, we had seen Kylo with the Knights of Ren. What happened to the Knights of Ren?
Some people are saying it was the Praetorian Guards.
Okay.
But
Guys,
I don't think so.
Needless to they call them the Knights of Ren in episode 7.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, where the hell are they? They weren't even mentioned in the movie.
Nope.
In episode 8, they were not mentioned once. And I'm like, another storyline, another plot. We're like, what the freaking blankety shit?
Like, who knows? Maybe JJ will bring that together in episode 9 or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, the whole like whose side of the story was correct with the whole, Luke actually came into Kylo Ren's room and was gonna kill him.
Right.
And that was Kylo Ren's story when he Force connected with Rey. He's just like, oh no, he didn't tell you everything. What happened was I woke up and then I saw a really sinister look on his eyes.
Which was pretty awesome looking at.
And then he was gonna strike me down, and I did that in self-defense.
Yeah.
And then, which kind of makes Rey go up to Luke and it's just like, yo, like, what happened is you didn't tell me the full story here. And then he's just like, all right, here's what really happened.
Well, actually, he doesn't
lie.
He doesn't disagree with what Kylo is saying.
Yeah.
But what he's saying for that split, because Kylo is making it sound like that was Luke's purpose of coming into the room to destroy him. But Luke went in there knowing that he had totally gone to the dark side, and he had to stop him before he got too powerful for that split second.
Yep.
He said, for that split second, in my mind, I had to kill him.
And what people don't realize too is people are saying, "Oh, that's not the Luke Skywalker I know." But in episode 6, when Luke completely loses it, when Darth Vader's like, "If you're not going to turn to the dark side, then your sister will," and then he snaps. And
love that scene.
He almost kills his dad.
Yeah, which is a fantastic scene.
And then until he saw his nephew with that sort of same path as Luke's father had when he was younger, he saw that. So in a split second, he's like, should I kill him so he doesn't become the next Darth Vader?
Right.
And then he kind of takes himself back. He's just like, no, that goes against...
Right.
Yeah, he had more control this time.
Correct.
Like, was it a split second? Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure any regular human being would have
Correct.
for a split second.
Correct. And he, like I said, he explains it for that split second, but then as he basically drew back his lightsaber, of course, Kylo wakes up. He brings the building down on top of Luke, and that was that. You know.
Yep. The rest was everyone's dead.
Yeah.
Basically. And then Luke descends into the Octo planet with the caretakers and the porgs.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah. And then
bunch of old ladies.
basically to go there to die. So there was that whole conflict between Rey and Luke, and she was just like, well, she feels as if she needs to confront Kylo Ren to, because of that Force connection that was going on.
Correct.
And then so she leaves, she gets into the Falcon, she takes off.
Right.
And then while that's happening, Luke goes to that old sacred place with the tree. Mm-hmm. Well, before we get to that, Rey goes into that little dark side area within the island.
Yeah.
And she asks, like, "Oh, show me my parents," and they only show a reflection of herself.
Herself, and basically infinity. It just
keeps going.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Yeah, and it basically kind of show that, like, her parents are nobody important, because it's all really just her that's important for her journey. Her parents have no relevance into what the bigger picture is, and that's kind of what I took from it.
Right. And no, mind you, that's what I got from it also. I mean, don't be wrong. I mean, they were showing her that you are powerful and your parents are basically irrelevant to the story we are going to continue with.
Yep.
And that being said, it's still, you're kind of like, okay.
Yeah, the episode 7 kind of builds it up to be like, the parents and stuff like. But even Maz Kanata in episode 7, she was just like, "Oh, your parents, they're never coming back."
Okay, well, I understood that. Okay, your parents are never coming back.
Yeah.
And not much I understood. And one of the things that I got from episode 7 was that the original lightsaber that Anakin had, that he made and he used, Skywalker, okay, was passed on to his son Luke. And then this lightsaber called to her.
Yeah.
And then even later in the episode 7 where she fights Kylo, and Kylo he knows he's a offspring of the Skywalker. It doesn't go to him.
No, it goes
to Rey.
Yeah.
Rey's the one that catches that lightsaber. So you're like, holy shit, she's a Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I took from it too, but
Are we again, as a fan, are we just guessing too much? But again, the lightsaber, I mean, you can, if you call to it, it's not just going to come to you just to come to you.
Yeah.
Okay? We've seen that with Kylo. We've seen that throughout Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this lightsaber eventually, which is destroyed in the movie.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like,
which we'll also get to in a second. But once it reveals like, oh, Rey's parents are nothing, she takes off from the planet, leaves Luke behind, and he was gonna go to that old Jedi tree and burn down some of the ancient Jedi texts.
Yeah, Jedi books there inside.
And then that's when Yoda shows up.
Very cool. The old puppet Yoda. Yay!
I'm so glad that they did the puppet Yoda.
Thank you.
I'm so happy they did the puppy. They even brought Frank Oz back.
Frank Oz back to do the puppet Yoda.
Yep.
Yeah, yes.
Because it wouldn't be Yoda if it wasn't Frank Oz.
It was so funny because when he first made the appearance, everybody's like, "Oh my god, that's the original Yoda."
Yep.
I mean, literally everybody in the audience was like, "Oh, that's the original Yoda." That's what the whole talk was, which was absolutely fantastic. Because the CGI one was garbage.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah,
it was garbage.
But anyway, we got the puppet Yoda back, which was cool. But then it was such a great scene because Yoda was just like, yeah, you can burn the Jedi text, like, it doesn't matter, because there's nothing that Rey could learn from those books because it's already inside her.
Right.
And then he just calls down a force lightning from the sky.
Yoda calls force lightning.
But here's the thing. They someone told me this. Someone said that in episode 1 that this is from somebody, that they said that in episode 1 that a Jedi can only change the perspective of another if they're like in a Force ghost form, but not actually like kill somebody. Like they can only like change certain points of view.
But how are they going to summon up wind and rain and lightning?
Maybe it is Jedi with the whole rain, wind, and lightning. Maybe it was Yoda that did the whole rain weather changes in Octoplanet. I don't know.
We were just kind of okay. I never realized a Force ghost could summon lightning. Yeah. I was like, okay.
But the whole point of the scene was just like, yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter what these books contain because it's all within yourself. It's all within what you've learned up here and in here. Like, page turners, they're not as Yoda describes it as. Luke Skywalker was just like, no, like these are the ancient Jedi texts. These are the last of the Jedi. And then he's just like, no, you and Rey are.
Yeah.
You are the last of it.
Yeah.
And we cannot let Rey turn to the dark side because that would be extremely bad.
Yep.
Cannot let that happen.
Yep.
And it was a pretty touching scene because it showed that connection how it was in episode 5 and how Luke is still young. He's still that young.
He's still learning.
Yeah.
Even to his old man age, he's still learning. And
you can still teach a old dog new tricks.
Kind of going back a little bit. Now, one of the problems I had was I liked the way they were building Luke Skywalker's character. He was disgruntled. He was just wanted to be left alone. But as the movie progressed and he started to kind of give Rey lessons as what being a Jedi or the Force is all about, and there's the Force connection between Rey and Kylo. There's a scene in there where, and since Episode 7, if you recall, we did the video vlog going to the convention. Ryan had asked me, "What do you want to see?" And I said, "I want to see Luke Skywalker use his lightsaber." Do some Jedi stuff. Just use the Force.
Yeah.
Use the Force. I mean, come on. I wanted it to be as powerful or as visually powerful as we saw in Rogue One with Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Where he's just going down the corridor and he's just using his lightsaber to cut down rebels and block.
Cut some couple dudes in
half.
Cutting
people in half. And,
yeah.
You wanted to see something like that from Luke.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't want to see him just cutting and slicing people up, but using the Force in a certain aspect. But that scene where Rey and Kylo are connecting and Luke walks in on it.
Yeah. And he was just like,
he
throws
his hand out like, no. And the whole building just blows up.
Yep.
And you realize, oh my God, this dude's powerful.
Yep.
I mean, he destroys
a whole.
Just by saying no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Well, the Skywalkers have a thing for saying no.
I know. I was like, okay, great. We're finally going to see Luke Skywalker use the power of the Force. That we've been waiting to see.
Yeah.
And we never got.
Yeah. Which we're doing this a lot in this video. It's like we're gonna get back to that soon. But speaking of cutting people in half. We finally have a confrontation of Rey and Kylo Ren. They meet face to face.
Awesome.
And before that happens, before she meets up with Snoke, she was just like, "Hey, you can still turn to the light side. I feel that conflict in you." And even Kylo Ren's like, "Yeah, I feel the darkness in you. So it's not too late for you to change either."
Right.
So
cool scene.
Yeah, and then they have this whole sequence where Snoke is like, "Oh, Kylo Ren, like my faithful apprentice. I know I talked shit on you previously,
and he's going to talk more shit on you."
Yeah, and then he's like, "This is the moment where you are going to prove yourself the true heir to Darth Vader."
Yep.
And as my overall faithful apprentice, even though I said that you were just a boy in a mask about a couple hours ago, and take that ridiculous thing off. Not anymore. If you kill this one girl, then
you're back in the good marks with me.
Yep. So Rey and Snoke are having this this feud for about a good couple minutes. She's thrown around. Even Snoke is toying with her.
He's toying with her.
She force grabs the lightsaber, but he takes it away from her, hits her in the back of the head with it. And he's just like, "You're just a child. What are you doing?"
Like a rag doll.
Yeah, and then he sets the lightsaber down by his side, and then he controls Rey in fully controls her.
Fully controls her. She cannot move.
And then he tells Kylo Ren, "Kill this girl, and then kill your one true enemy." And by the moment when he says "kill your true enemy," that's when he turns the lightsaber on his side and then sticks it right through his side, brings it forward,
slices him in two.
And then you see in the back his upper body just falls flat. And that was kind of a scene shocker, actually.
No, mind you, it was a scene shocker. No, because you did not expect that.
Yeah,
I didn't expect it. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm assuming one of those powerful Sith or something, because he was a badass, and that's it.
Yeah, and he dies.
Cut him in half, and we thought, okay, well, if Darth Maul can survive his body being cut in half, why can't Snoke? But of course, later on in the movie, when they show him the rest of his body, it just kind of flumps to the ground.
His tongue is sticking out. His eyes are like rolled to the back.
And you're kind of like, okay, he's not coming back. So
and after Kylo Ren kills Snoke, they have this pretty sweet throne room battle scene where they team up and they beat those Daft Punk Praetorian guards.
And that scene, the cinematography, just the way they set it up in that red room with these Praetorian guards that are all red, and it's a awesome scene.
Yeah, it was a fantastic scene.
It is awesome. Yeah, and Rey and Kylo join together to defeat the Praetorian Guard, which they do in great fashion. I mean, Kylo's badass because he was just taking a couple of them down at the same time.
Oh,
While Ray was struggling with just one.
Yep.
So
she took a couple of them down, but I counted the second time. Kylo takes more of the guards down.
Oh yeah.
And it really just shows that he is so skilled with the lightsaber.
Yes.
They showed more of that, and it was a great scene.
Okay.
And so they're all dead. So the Kylo and Rey win, and then
and then it kind of turns.
It turns in a sense where Kylo Ren is like, hey, this is what the Force connection, like this is what it was building up to. So if you join me, we can rule the galaxy together.
We could rule the galaxy together, like famous line of Star Wars.
Yep.
Boom.
And then and then Rey's just like, don't do this. I thought for a second you were going to turn back to the light side,
but no.
And then he's just like, no, you're holding on to things that you shouldn't be holding on to. And that's when he's just like, oh, your parents, they're really nobody. They're nothing. They're just scavengers that traded you for drinking money.
Yeah,
and you're absolutely nothing.
And you're nothing. And at that point, I'm like,
and he's just like, but not to me, you're not. So that's why you need to join me.
I think he's lying.
Yeah.
Okay, I think he's lying. I think
that's part of a Sith. Yeah. Though. They're meant to lie.
Yeah, I think he's just lying to her to get her to think that I'm the only one that cares about you. I'm the one that really wants to train you and get you to a higher plane. Yeah. And by telling her your parents, so on and so forth, and I think that's just. But I think she's smarter than that. I think I think she is the Grey Jedi. I'm telling you, man. I think she is that one that will bridge. Yep. The whole Force together. I think that she's the one that. Since episode 1, we always thought it was Anakin. From episode 4, when we thought it was Luke, I think it's Rey.
Yeah, Rey is going to be the one to bring balance to
the Force.
Because honestly, it never happened.
Never
especially with the original trilogy. Yep, never happened. Like the good guys win, but there wasn't that balance.
There was no balance.
So
correct.
Again, maybe she'll be the one to have a balance and stuff.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
So after that whole throne room scene, Rey escapes. She goes onto the Millennium Falcon. Mm-hmm. She heads over to Crate, which is the last planet of the whole film. Mm-hmm. And then Kylo Ren is knocked unconscious after the whole lightsaber thing, the Force tug of war that Kylo Ren and Rey blows up.
Blows up. That's kind of cool. That was kind of cool scene.
That was a great scene. Just blows up something that was extremely powerful, and that means something to the audience. Yep. And then after that happens, like I said, Rey goes to Crate, and then Kylo Ren's knocked out. Hux comes in. He sees Supreme Leader Snoke dead, and he's just like, "What the hell happened?"
He's just like, "What in the hell happened here?"
He sees everyone dead. Snoke's dead. Kylo Ren's unconscious. He's just like, "What happened?"
But then he starts reaching for his gun.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to kill this son of a bitch. I'm going to kill Kylo, that bastard.
Kylo Ren was just like, well, Rey killed him. Yeah. He killed Supreme Leader Snoke and just went ballistic on everybody, and I couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, but again, Hux was just about to shoot Kylo on the ground. Yep. Just shoot. But of course, he wakes up and right before, and then he tucks the old gun back into the holster.
No, remember, he chokes him, remember?
Yeah,
then, yeah, he was just like, no, I'm in control, and
I'm in charge now.
I'm in charge. I am the Supreme Leader.
And makes me fly on his face, like, bam.
That was it. And then, okay, so all that's caught up. So now we're at the last battle sequence. Everyone's met up at this point. All the characters. Yep. So it's the Resistance. Then you have Rey. We have Kylo Ren. The First Order. They're all having this battle to basically for the last stand. The reason why the Resistance goes to Crate is because it's an abandoned rebellion base. But it's heavy on armory. Yep. It still has a couple of tech in there that can be able for them to survive a bit longer. Mm-hmm. And while that happens, the First Order comes down to basically wipe them out. And it's
led by Kylo Ren.
Yep, led by Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, because they're calling him that. It was actually pretty funny.
Like that. Ooh.
So they're having one final stand in the movie. Right at the moment when Rey comes in with the Falcon.
Right.
She shoots down a couple of TIE fighters, and then all
Yeah.
the TIE fighters kind of go after her, and then they have this whole sequence where she's going through the whole crystal cave or whatever.
Oh, yeah, which is cool.
It was
like Star Tours.
Yeah.
Disneyland. Okay, go ahead.
and it was playing that whole sequence where, remember in episode 4 where they get into the gunner seats in the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He's like, got one. Great
Yeah.
kid. Don't get cocky.
Don't get
That,
cocky.
that whole
That's
song that
right.
was playing. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
You're
dun,
right.
dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Yes,
That
I
whole
do
song was
remember that.
playing. And I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
They used that song properly.
Yeah,
They used it
correct.
well.
Didn't just throw it in there.
Yeah, they didn't just throw it in there. And I felt my body kind of like moving a little bit once they showed the Falcon kind of swerving through the crystals and
Yeah.
stuff, and the TIE fighter shooting. And it was such a well shot scene.
It was.
That it makes you feel like you're part of the whole experience.
The big massive walkers now are attacking the main doorway of this rebellion base.
Yep.
Okay, so they have these old rickety gliders. They call them gliders.
Yeah.
That are attacking these walkers, and they're just no match.
Yeah,
they're just getting blasted.
Even Poe's like, yeah, we need to
get out.
jump ship.
See, and at that point, you realize Poe is growing.
Yeah.
He's becoming more of a leader, of a general.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, this is not going to work. We need to get out of here.
And then that was the moment when Finn was just like, you know what, I need to take charge of this.
Yeah.
And then he was actually gonna kamikaze himself into that whole mini Death Star thing that they're gonna shoot at the little armory door.
It's like a big old cannon. Yeah.
And then Poe's like, no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Come back here. That's an order. And he's just like, no, this is our chance to basically
take out the gun.
take out a big part of the First Order.
Yeah.
So while he was doing that, he was so close to blowing himself up.
I thought he was for a second.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, they're actually going to kill Finn. And I
Yeah.
really like Finn.
I like his character. Love his character.
Yeah, he's a great character. And then that's until Rose comes in.
Rose, yay, to the rescue.
Ooh, she crashes into him. They both should have died.
I know.
And
that beats the hell out of me.
and then Finn gets out of his vehicle. He gets out of his vehicle, and then he's all like,
over there.
he's like, why would you do that? And then she's just like, I saved you because, we can't win wars if we fight the things that we hate, only by saving the things we love.
And kiss.
And then they have this awkward kiss.
And you're like, what the freaking Frenchie frack.
Again, the second time, I was just like, that's still super cheesy.
The writers, guys.
So wasn't Finn fighting the thing he hates by saving the things he loves by basically committing suicide into that little thing, Death Star thing? Wasn't that exactly what he was doing, Rose? But I would have laughed if they both survived, because they're still they're in an open field.
Yeah.
And I would have laughed if not a TIE fighter, a walker kind of turns towards it, and blows both of them up. Yeah, good job, Rose. Good job.
Anyway, so that was kind of one of those storylines that you were kind of like, because you always thought, of course, coming from episode 7, that Finn and Rey had a little connection going on.
Yeah.
But then, yeah.
Then
because later on in the movie, there's a scene where all of them are sitting around, and Finn goes over to where Rose is at, and she's under sedation. She's knocked out, and she's getting medically examined, and
they seem to have more of a connection than
and then Rey kind of looks over and kind of gives that look like,
yeah,
okay, but it kind of that's it.
Yeah,
like, all right, love triangle? No, we don't want that.
I don't want a love triangle.
Don't want that.
But before we get to that, so that happens, and that was the moment when Jedi Master Luke Skywalker appears on the planet.
Classic.
That was a very interesting scene, actually, because it for one, we got a reunion with Luke and Leia.
Finally with Luke and Leia. And I know that we were talking about the epic death before, and they could have easily wrote that in a little earlier because of the way he was using the Force to project himself.
Yeah.
To wherever he needed to be.
Yeah.
But that's it was a great scene. They talked, they said a few things.
Yeah,
brother and sister.
Leia was just like, I know exactly what you're gonna say. I changed my hair, and then he's like, it looks great on you, and then they have this really great brother sister moment.
Yeah,
and it was very touching.
Yep.
And then he even gives C-3PO a wink. He's just like,
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, Master Luke Skywalker," and gives him a wink, kind of heads off into that little into the huge battlefield where it was a great scene because all the Resistance is looking at this legendary figure,
and they're all like, "Holy shit!"
They're like, "Oh, that's Luke Skywalker."
Now,
and
mind you, when he first appears in the cave, right?
Yeah.
And because at first we're like, "Oh, Luke's finally here! Finally, yay!"
Yeah.
Because you think he's off this island and he's come to help.
Yeah.
But then you start looking at
A couple of details.
Of what he looks like. He's a younger Luke.
Yeah, he looks a lot younger.
And he's, and you're thinking, that's not Luke.
And,
or that's a younger Luke.
His beard is not as gray.
It's not his hair. Grizzled. He's not as grizzled.
His hair's shorter. He kind of looks like Episode 6 Luke.
Of course. And then, of course, when he gets to that point where he's confronting all the walkers by himself and he turns his lightsaber on, he's holding his original lightsaber. The one that was destroyed earlier in the movie. So you think that's... Okay, because you start questioning, okay, what is going on here?
Well, even Kylo Ren, he's just like, I want every gun that we have fire on that man.
Yeah.
So while that's going on, and just about a good 20 seconds of just pure firepower.
Firepower.
And then Hux is just like, all right, stop, that's enough. And then he turns to Kylo Ren, he's like, you all right, do you think you got him? Do you think so? And it was kind of funny, they had that little banter.
Yeah.
And then you see Luke still standing there, completely harmless, and he's just like...
brushes it off. And you're like, oh.
And that was when Kylo Ren's like, take me down to him.
I needed to go one-on-one with him.
Yeah. That was the moment where I was like, all right, we are finally going to see a Grand Jedi Master Luke Skywalker ignite his lightsaber and fight Kylo Ren.
Do some shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Only for it to be revealed later on that it was actually a force projection that he sent of himself that he sent onto the planet that he was already on.
Yep. To help the rebellion escape while he's diverting all the firepower and attention to them.
Exactly. And he basically distracted Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually a really good character moment for Kylo Ren because when they were having their little lightsaber battle and Luke was doing a bunch of Matrix tricks and then he was spinning around, which was really cool.
It's really cool.
And then he tells Kylo Ren, he's just like, if you strike me down, you just know that I will always be with you, just like your father. And that just upsets Kylo Ren, and he kind of does a whole one just slash through him, only for it to
go right through. Yeah. And you thought, oh man,
but he's dead. And nope, that's when it showed it was a force projection.
A force projection. And at that point, you realize, okay, that's not Luke. That it is a force projection. And then they show Luke meditating on the island.
Yep.
And you're thinking, oh, now I see what he's doing.
Yep.
Now you were asking the questions like, hey, that's not really Luke because he looks too young and he's holding the lightsaber and so on. Because you start picking up on that stuff quickly, and then you realize, okay, this is what he's doing. Yeah. He is the diversion to allow the rebellion to escape.
Yeah, because at that point, it's not really about him.
Correct.
It's about, the younger generation carrying that torch to become their own heroes.
Correct.
Luke's already that hero. He already has that status.
Correct.
So he'll always be known as that legend Luke Skywalker.
Correct.
And and it just shows that he was doing what he was doing to influence like the younger generation, so the younger generations can pass it on to more younger generations, and so on and so forth. At first, I wasn't too fond of it, but after seeing it a second time, like I said, it was neat. Yeah, it was actually really neat.
It was a good scene because, of course, he tells Kylo, I have failed you. Yeah. Yeah, and Kylo's, he's talking trash. You're nothing but an old bastard. And,
so. He was just talking shit the whole time.
So the diversion works. They do blast through the doors.
Yep.
But they go little crystal dogs.
Yeah, they
help
fall.
Them escape.
Yep. The resistance follows the crystal dogs.
The crystal doggies.
That's when Rey meets up with them, and then she force lifts all the rocks.
She force lifts all the rocks. I mean, she just says, and I'm talking about this shitload of rocks, man. She's moving them all by her lonesome, and I'm thinking, wow, she's
extremely powerful.
If she is just some random girl in the universe who happens to have the most powerful force ever, I mean, I'm thinking, holy mackerel, there's got to be a connection. We do. Yeah. The story on her parents it's got to come out. Because it just doesn't. Yeah. It just doesn't happen like that. Yeah. But the scene that end scene where the remaining members of the rebellion that have survived are running to the Millennium Falcon. Yep. But there's another, again, force connection between Kylo and Rey.
Yeah.
Where Rey's like looking down and Kylo's looking up. And
she closes the Millennium Falcon door.
She closes the Millennium Falcon door, but
and then cuts it off.
They're seeing each other.
Yep.
Now remember, earlier in the movie, it was explained by Snoke that he was the one that was using the Force to connect the two.
Yeah.
But now that Snoke's dead, or is he dead, and all that bullshit.
Yeah, which is actually like a couple questions that people asked. Like, is Snoke really dead?
Because the fact
it's strange.
Because that's what they were saying. Because he's saying that I'm the one that Force connected you to.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then how were they connecting at the end of the movie?
Yeah. So there's more going on than just that.
I don't want to speculate. I don't want to guess. Maybe Kylo is now to the point where they're both so strong in the Force now they can just do it on their own.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I mean, it could just be as simple as that. Whoever's in charge or whoever's Supreme Chancellor, or whoever is this. But that scene made me think, okay, they've taken their next step into a bigger world, like Obi-Wan told Luke back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their first steps into a much larger world. Yeah.
So that's what I think. They're both now gone, and it has now, you have got that fine line. Kylo's an evil bastard. He is just on the dark side. Rey is fighting for good in the rebellion. And so, and I love the way they referenced not the resistance, but they did reference them as the rebellion.
Yep. Even Luke says the rebellion is reborn.
The rebellion is
on this day.
Rebellion is reborn
on this day. So they're not the resistance anymore.
I'm thinking, thank you. Finally,
they called them the rebellion.
And then, of course, one of the very end scenes is you see Luke exhausted from his projection of himself, and he becomes one with the Force. Yeah, which
was actually really great because he looks at the twin suns.
Yes.
Yeah, and
just
then
like Tatooine.
Yeah, and they played the iconic Star Wars scene, the probably the most memorable scenes in cinema history.
Yep.
Where he looks at the twin suns back in the 1977 Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They emulate that scene, and then it kind of shows like that was the end of his journey. Yep. Like he's done. Yep. He's finally been he's completed his journey because I'm talking like technical perspectives. When Luke looks on in the 1977 Star Wars, he's on the far left side of the screen where he looks at the twin suns. Okay. But in this one, he's on the far right of the screen looking at the twins. So it kind of shows
that much detail.
His journey, and now it has come to an end. And I like the way how they did that too, and it was really cool.
And one thing he does mention that when he's talking to Kylo when they're having the standoff is that he says, "I am not the last Jedi."
Yep.
He says that to Kylo, "I am not the last Jedi."
Yep.
So Rey is the last, whether she's the last Jedi or not, because we also see some of the end scenes where you see these little kids moving stuff with the Force.
Yep.
So you're thinking, okay, maybe Rey will be the next coming of a Jedi Master that will train the next.
Well, because that one scene when it gets back to the kids at the very end, they're just like they're talking about that whole battle sequence, and they're using their little homemade toys, and then they're like, and then comes Luke Skywalker,
that's right.
And then everyone's like, oh my god, that's so cool, because they're kids and they're so inspired by this story of Luke Skywalker, and then again, it was influencing that younger generation. That's what Luke also did, because it reached to that certain part of the galaxy. The story spread.
And one thing that I again, part of the Snoke storyline was that in Episode 7, he tells Kylo, he says, if Luke Skywalker returns, the Jedi will rise.
Yep.
Okay? So, you're wondering, okay, so is this what he meant?
The new Jedi, possibly Rey
will rise,
or the kids.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm getting at. Like, okay, he gave us. Of course, we were always thinking if Luke comes back, he himself will bring the next new Jedi, training or facility or whatever.
Yeah.
But we know that's not going to happen because he disappears.
Yep.
Becomes one with the Force, and I'm assuming that in the next Episode 9 that he will come back as a Force ghost.
Yeah,
I can only hope so.
Who knows? I mean, I don't
I hope
follow
so.
whole Disney re-signing contracts or anything for like certain actors, but it would be pretty cool for them to bring back Mark Hamill as a Force Ghost.
And Force Ghost, absolutely.
And again, either talk to Rey or Kylo or whoever. That would be cool, because also it would make sense if he were to come back as a Force Ghost. But if they don't do that, then oh well, that's that. But they're going to have to figure out a way on how to kill off Princess Leia.
Yes.
That's going to be tough.
I think they missed some opportunities in this last episode or this last movie. But again, hopefully the writers will be smart enough to really set it up to where she will have her heroic death. She will have her moment in the sun before she also becomes one with the Force.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
So, fingers crossed. 2 years. People, 2 years.
So episode 9, and they're saying that this is the one to end the Skywalker saga.
Skywalker saga.
This will be it until they start branching off to different ideas of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they're going to explore different parts of the universe. They're going to explore different characters, different ideas, different themes, which
is great. Yeah. But as far as this movie is concerned, I quite enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I had a great time seeing it. Yeah. I recommend it to anybody who's going to go out there. And should I see it or should I? Go see it, guys. It's a fun movie. Great action, good acting. I recommend it to anybody. So yeah, go see it. Star Wars. Are you kidding me? Come on, people.
Yeah, if it's a Star Wars movie in theaters, it's like you have to go see it.
Yeah, on the big screen.
Yeah, on the at least once. But you know, for people who aren't Star Wars fans, they're just like, yeah, whatever about Star Wars. That's okay too. Okay. I mean, that's fine, because again, it's just a movie.
It's a movie,
and it's fun to talk about. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those movies, especially like with this one, how it's just so divisive amongst fans and non-fans. Like I even made a video about it. I was just like, it's like, hey, the non-fan perspective, they're wrong, and the fan perspective, they're wrong, because fans, they really do take it out of proportion. And we love Star Wars. We absolutely love Star Wars. It's been a big part of our lives.
Since 1977, I've been a fan of Star Wars.
Yep.
I mean, a true fan of the Star Wars genre.
Yeah.
Now, people, this is a movie. I enjoy it. I don't take this stuff seriously. Oh my God, how dare you? Yeah. Look, people, it's a fantastic story. Great characters. Yeah. Great storyline.
Yep.
It opens your mind to just your imagination. And that's what it did to me when I was 10 years old. It opened up my imagination to characters and universes and creatures and spaceships. And that's what this movie does. This is what this story does.
Yep.
Okay? Something beyond what we see as normal.
Yep.
Okay? That's what this is all about. Mm-hmm. You know, good and evil, you know.
Same with me. Like, I love Star Wars, but I'm not going to take it super seriously to the point where I'm throwing petitions online saying I want this movie removed from canon.
People are idiots.
And it is what it is. It's an artistic approach to Star Wars. And, you know, some directors have different points of views on how they perceive the story, because honestly, would you want the same movie over and over and over again? No, it gets kind of old at this. But let's bring in new directors, new ideas, new worlds, new characters.
You need that.
A franchise like Star Wars needs that, and I believe that this is the movie to really ignite that, and a lot of people aren't really too comfortable with it.
But you need to get some good writers in there, because again, we don't need all the little bits and details like a lot of these people search for.
Yeah.
But give me a good storyline.
Yeah, exactly.
Storyline so I can follow and be pulled in by these characters. And the character Rey's character, Finn's and Poe's. I like these three. Yeah. I like these characters. These guys are pulling me into this new storyline of Star Wars, you know, because we know the old guard is now leaving. Harrison Ford's gone, Mark Hamill's gone, Carrie Fisher, of course, is gone, but she will be gone in the movie in the next episode. So we're seeing these, and we've seen General Akbar. No!
Oh, they actually, some people were like, he was killed off screen, but actually he was like in the back when Leia gets blown up.
Yeah. General Akbar was on the bridge when when they get shot. General Akbar is dead.
Well, the guy who played Akbar, he died too.
Yeah, and by the way, what was the guy's name from The New Hope?
Dr. Evazan.
Evazan, the guy who says,
he doesn't
He
like
doesn't
you.
like
yeah.
you. Yeah, the actor, he has passed away. So we
That was sad because
Yeah.
that's also like that was like a moment in the Star Wars universe, especially in the first one. It was
Yeah.
like it showed this incredibly diverse spectrum
Yeah.
of creatures and aliens. And that actor, Alfie Curtis,
Right.
He helped portray that in a
Yeah.
sense where
So-
it's not always clean. It's a dirty
It's a dirty universe.
It's a dirty universe.
So
Yeah.
again, I just heard about that just the other day. It's kind of like we're seeing a lot of these actors that have been part of the Star Wars.
You know what's scary is he actually died the same day Carrie Fisher did.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I hope this
Yeah.
doesn't create a trend where on that specific day, which was the 27th or
Hopefully
something
not. Again.
of December, hopefully they just
Again,
it's sad. It is sad. to see
not
it.
the same exact date, but like a year later, like the day of.
Yeah, like a year later, then
the
he
year
died.
anniversary of Carrie Fisher's
That's
death.
what I meant to say.
He died that
Yeah.
day. So, yeah. Any final thoughts going out or?
Yeah, I suggest that if you want to go see Star Wars, I say go see it at the full admission. I think
Yes,
you're going to get your
full
money's
admission.
worth.
Yes, you will.
But also keep in mind, there are some cheesy parts of the movie, and it's not entirely perfect. It's not the best Star Wars movie.
No, it's not.
I think because I'm always on the edge between the original Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, because Empire Strikes Back has such a great story, but the original Star Wars is such a technical masterpiece.
Yeah.
Where it just elevated what it means for movie making.
Correct.
It's a staple in cinema. So it's I'm always on episode 4, episode 5 for
Yeah,
me.
because I loved Last Jedi.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. I will go see it again. We've discussed this plenty of time. What is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time? Of course, my favorite one is Episode 4. I mean, before it was called Episode 4, it was just Star Wars, the Star Wars. Okay, so that being said, you talk to directors and actors and everything. They all reference the original Star Wars. They all go back. When this movie came out, it changed cinema forever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
It did, and Disney is now.
Jumping on that. Yeah.
And
They're jumping on it hard.
Yeah, and they're making their money. Hey, it's all about the money, people. Let's not be stupid.
Yeah.
But they are the continuing story and great. So my final thoughts is yes, go see Last Jedi. Fantastic movie.
Yep.
Full admission. Yeah, absolutely. Go see it on the big screen. You got to see it on the big screen. You will enjoy it most. But one thing we want to say, especially for both of us, is it is Christmas time. Merry Christmas, as you can tell. Behind us over here is our Star Wars Christmas tree.
The annual Christmas tree.
Our annual Star
Gotta
Wars
have it in
Christmas
the
tree.
back.
Pretty
Yep.
badass.
Oh, yeah.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Be safe to all you people out there. All the Star Wars fans.
Non-Star Wars fans and Star Wars fans.
Yeah, you guys too. Whatever. You guys too. Whatever. But, Happy New Year. And be safe out there. And if you're ever in California, check out Star Tours Rides. They have the new scenes in there. Pretty dope.
It is pretty cool.
So, Rebels forever.
All right, so that comes to the conclusion of our Star Wars: The Last Jedi spoiler
Last
talk.
Jedi.
That was it. So again, we recommend you guys see the movie, and I'll also bring my dad back pretty soon because I'm pretty sure we're going to watch a couple trailers for the Han Solo movie that's coming out no one's really looking forward to, but
We'll see.
Maybe it'll be good
we'll see.
because it's Ron Howard doing it.
Yeah,
and,
so we'll see. He came in late though. Ron,
Yeah,
I like Ron Howard. He came in
extremely
way late.
Yeah, he came super late.
So we'll see.
But yeah, and in the meantime, we'll see what Star Wars has in store for us in the future.
Yeah.
And then later on, I'm gonna have my video on my best movies of 2017 list coming very soon. I did my top 10 worst movies of 2017. I didn't see a whole lot of bad movies this year. Thank God,
Thank
but
goodness.
I still saw enough to where I can make a top 10.
There
But
you go.
I've seen so many good movies
There's good
this
movies out
year.
this year.
There's a lot of good
Yeah,
movies.
it was fun.
It's going to be a little bit difficult for me to make my list, but I think I already have it. I caught up on plenty of movies that I personally think I should have caught up on. But yeah, and that's it. That video is going to come very soon, and we all want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, even though that's past, and also a Happy New Year. Be safe, guys. this could be my last video of the year, and who knows on when I'm gonna bring my top 10 best movies of 2017 video. But this could be it. So I just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Yep.
Be safe out there.
And with that being said, thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time. And may the Force be with you.
Woo! Last Jedi.
That's it. That's it. We did it.
Look,
What do we do?
We're not.
Fist bump. All right. Okay. All right, we got it.